What is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. So as I'm sure you know, settings in Fortnite are a very common topic, and one of the most common settings that people like to debate about is colorblind modes. Some people think that colorblind modes make their game look way better and they prefer using them, and others feel like it doesn't do anything and they really just don't like it. In today's video, I'm gonna clarify all of that and tell you guys exactly what you need to know about colorblind modes in Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3. By the end of this video, you'll see all the colorblind modes and you'll ultimately know why you would use colorblind modes, which mode is the best, and everything you need to know about it. If you go on to enjoy this video, or if you find it helpful, then be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more, and lastly guys, if you want to show some extra support, it's always appreciated if you could use code Teckoh in the item shop. It's 100% free for you, it only takes a few seconds to type in, and it seriously does help me out a bunch. As always, a huge thank you to everyone who uses it. With all that said, and without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So the first thing I want to talk about is just the basics of colorblind modes. So as you may know, there are 4 options when it comes to colorblind settings. These settings are going to include Protnope, Tritanope, Deuteranope, and of course the option to turn it off. Now a little bit of a history lesson when it comes to colorblind modes. While these modes were originally meant to help people with actual colorblindness see better in game, back in chapter 1 they actually gained popularity because they allowed people to see into the storm super clearly. So when you were inside the zone looking back into the storm, you could see everything super clear, you could see players, you could see everything, and it definitely gave a significant competitive advantage compared to the regular mode. And of course this resulted in a ton of competitive players using these modes. Now this storm situation was later fixed, I believe it was early chapter 2 or right at the end of chapter 1, and after that colorblind modes weren't as much of a competitive advantage, but even to this day a lot of pros and even regular players still use them. So with all this in mind, you may be asking, why would I still use a colorblind mode if the storm advantage no longer exists? Now there are 2 main reasons why you would use a colorblind mode in Fortnite chapter 4. The first of these 2 is, even if you don't technically have colorblindness, it is possible that there are certain colors your eyes are more comfortable with, or just certain conditions you can see better in. Obviously a lot of this is just going to come down to your individual genetics and whatnot. Although there's no scientific way to really do it, if you try out each of the modes, you may find that one of them simply is easier to see with, or you just feel better using it, and that would be more than enough to justify switching. And the other one of these 2 reasons is simply preference. There's been a lot of talk in recent months about how people like or don't like how the game looks. A lot of people compare like the current game to how it looked in chapter 1 or something like that. And just like when it comes to that with the lighting and whatnot, a lot of people simply like the look of colorblind modes better than the regular game. And honestly, if it makes playing the game more enjoyable, then I definitely see why you would want to do it. Either way, whether you actually find yourself being able to see better, or if you just like the look of the game better, it may be worth trying out some colorblind modes simply to see how they feel for you individually. So with that said, now we've gone over a little bit of the basic ideas of colorblind modes as well as why you might want to use them. So the next thing I want to do in this video is actually hop into the game and compare them all with you guys. Now I do recommend doing this yourself at some point just to see what looks best on your own setup, but hopefully this segment of the video can at least give you some ideas to what might work best for you. So with that in mind, we're gonna hop right into the game. Alrighty guys, so here we are in the game, and I guess I'm just gonna go between I'll go between these 3 biomes, I think. Also, I know I don't have this area discovered yet. Let's just pretend that's not the case. I'd like to get a decent glimpse of the jungle biome here. I think I'll probably just stop here at the little gas station. Alrighty, so here we are. I think this is probably a good place to set up, yeah. We get a decent glimpse of the ice biome, the jungle biome, and the grass biome. I like it. So starting out here, obviously for our comparison, this is just going to be the regular mode. No colorblind mode is on right now, and we're going to go ahead and change that. So for the sake of time, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys all the modes on 10. So starting out, we're going to go to Deuteranope 10. So as you can see with Deuteranope, it's a much darker version of the game. It's got a lot of contrast. Like you can see a massive difference between this grass right here and this sand right here. Here's a decent glimpse of what you can expect in the jungle biome. And yeah, overall, it's just a dark, high contrast version of the game. The things that are dark become very dark. The things that are light are still relatively light. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting mode. It's not exactly my forte, but I can see why someone would like it. So next up, we'll move on to Protnope. This one's got definitely a lot more brightness to it. You can tell it's still got that level of contrast that Deuteranope has, but it feels like just a much brighter version to me. Once again, this is just my perception of it. You guys may feel different about it, but I feel like it's a lot more vibrant. Like the green really pops out as green. Hopefully I'm making sense here. And yeah, personally I do vibe with this mode a lot more than Deuteranope, but I still am not 100% sure about it. And then right here we've got Tritanope. Once again, Tritanope level 10. All these are on level 10, and you can tell there's definitely that contrast, but the things that are bright are just very bright. Like on my monitor, when I look at this gas station, this is a bright gas station. When I look over here, it's just a very vibrant version of the game. It doesn't have that tint of darkness that Deuteranope and Protnope have. If you do like that darkness, then that's a good thing, but personally I like the kind of vibrant vibe that this has. And yeah, personally out of the modes, I think Tritanope's going to be my favorite. In a little bit I'll explain to you what I actually use and why I use it, but overall hopefully this gave you a good idea as to what you might like best. And one more time, just for the sake of comparison, here here's the regular game. Everything looks totally normal. But with that said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for our comparison. So now that we've gotten through our comparison, guys, I want to go over which mode is the best. Now that we've looked over all the modes, we should be able to answer this question, right? But to be honest, the only answer I can really give you guys is whichever one you feel best with. For some of you guys, you may like a certain mode all the way on level 10, while others might not even want to use the colorblind mode at all. Personally, since I use my footage in videos sometimes, I don't use the colorblind mode simply because I think the average player just likes the regular mode itself. But it's definitely something I would consider doing just on a preference level if that weren't the case. But really, when it comes to you guys individually, I can't tell you this mode is the best, because ultimately the entire reason people use colorblind modes nowadays is because it feels better for them individually or because they prefer it. So really what I would tell you guys to do is give these colorblind modes a shot and just see what sticks. But with all that said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on the best colorblind settings in Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3. Overall, although this was a simple video, hopefully it gave you guys some really good ideas as to what you might want to do in terms of your colorblind settings. If you found this video helpful, then be sure to drop a like on it. As well as that, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Fortnite tips and tricks content just like this in the future, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. And lastly, guys, if you want to show some extra support, it's always appreciated if you could use code Teckoh in the item shop. It only takes a couple seconds to type in, and it seriously does help me out a bunch. As always, a huge thank you to everyone who uses it. But with all that said, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.